Hello, friends. I come to you today with what I originally thought was going to be a World of Warcraft Dragonflight review. I had such a great time playing this World of Warcraft expansion, and when I got to the end of the story campaign, I just realized I was kind of done with it. I realized I didn't need the end game. I didn't need to repeat the raids, the dungeons, the PvP, and the battlegrounds over again for the nth time. Instead, I realized I was ready to log off, and in fact, I was ready to log off for good. I was ready to say goodbye to World of Warcraft for the last time. And that to me was a sort of remarkable moment. Because this is a game that's been with me nearly my whole adult life. Almost from the day I turned 21 and gained the legal ability to consume alcohol, I also gained the capability to consume World of Warcraft. And boy, did I escape into it. This game became a global phenomenon in the years when I was a lost college student getting deeper and darker into a rut in my life. I had what I didn't know at the time was ADHD, and I didn't know what to do about it. I couldn't structure my time and attention to pursue my goals, and I just kept failing and failing. But World of Warcraft was there, and it gave me a sense of meaning and purpose and connection that I seemed to not be able to find anywhere else in my life. And rather than be resentful for the thing that I escaped into, I feel grateful for the world of Azeroth for being there during those years. My life changed. I got better. And then I met a woman. Then I moved overseas, moved back, got married, found a career, descended into an even deeper and darker hole than I'd ever been in before, perhaps, and then slowly clawed my way out of it and found myself curious about World of Warcraft once again in 2019 when Classic came out. You see, I was curious. What did I see in this game all those years ago? I've changed so much, but this experience is the same. I should go back and look at it to see through new eyes. And when I did, what I found was nothing less than what I still believe is the greatest social RPG ever created. From level 1 all the way to level 60 and killing the raid bosses of Onyxia and Ragnaros. That is like an incredible MMO RPG journey. I remember even back in 2019, the first week my guild killed Onyxia and Ragnaros. Getting to the next week, just thinking to myself, do I need to kill these bosses again? Do I need to get that loot? Do I need to progress to the next tier? Do I need to re-experience Blackwing Lair and Ahn'Qiraj and Naxxramas all over again? And the answer was no. But still, I wasn't quite ready to let go of World of Warcraft. Shadowlands came out the next year, and with it, a curiosity to understand what the retail version of World of Warcraft had become. I hadn't played since Wrath of the Lich King. I quit almost the same day Ulduar came out. And for me, that was an exercise in curiosity. I found a game that had become frantic on so many levels. The way that characters controlled and rather than having a ton of abilities that you can use in different situations, what you had was just a character that was meant to be doing something in every single moment. Frenetic, frantic. The pacing of the progression, also frenetic, frantic. Everything had been sped up over the years. But that's not really what I'm here to talk about, because Shadowlands showed me what World of Warcraft had eventually evolved into, which is a well-worn understanding of the things that it does best, and a heavily guardrailed experience along those lines. Raids, dungeons, battlegrounds, arenas, mounts, stuff like that. When I got done with Shadowlands, I still felt like there might be more to learn from World of Warcraft. Burning Crusade Classic came out, and I thought to myself, I should go back and do this again. Burning Crusade was really cool. I remember getting into Outland, and then within a couple of minutes, just realizing, oh yeah, I didn't need to do this. What was I thinking? And then I left, and but still, I wasn't quite done. Wasn't quite done. My buddy and I convinced ourselves that we were going to play Wrath of the Lich King Classic when it came out. And we got all ready to do it. And while we were waiting, we played some of New World, the new MMO by Amazon Games. that was fun. The Brimstone Sands release. But anyway, Wrath of the Lich King Classic comes out, and we think we're going to play it. And then the day comes, and my buddy and I just decide, no, you don't need it, actually. Dragonflight, though. Dragonflight was something I was excited to try because this was a palate cleanser in the World of Warcraft story. Far from being another iteration on or development of what came before, you see, World of Warcraft had been through a few rocky years where it had been trying to iterate on and develop itself and add new systems and progression paths that would reach to a broader and deeper audience, and was met with very, very mixed results. The response to this is Dragonflight. All the World of Warcraft you love and none of the other stuff. It was a retreat to higher ground, and for me, Dragonflight was such an enjoyable experience. I love getting to meet the characters and the people, and I had a great time with dragon riding and exploring the isles, the Tuskar and the fishing, and it was just such a good time. But when I got to the end of the story and the end game unfolded, I realized I was done. I realized that I didn't need any more World of Warcraft. And furthermore, I realized that I had learned what I needed to from it and was ready to move on from it for good. There are a few things that I feel World of Warcraft helped me learn. One of those is to pay attention to the small things. You don't know how things are going to add up in life, and I think that's also true in World of Warcraft. The things that are measured tend to be the things that are managed, so you can find incredible resources for optimal DPS rotations and build optimization and how to dodge mechanics and engage with boss fights, all the very quantifiable stuff. But the lesson for me was to engage and pay attention to the non-quantifiable stuff, to the quest text, to the little dialogue between the creatures, understanding the greater context of this world and why the things we did mattered. You see, because I'm very concerned and interested with my existence on Earth at all. Why am I here? What should I be doing? How should I orient my behavior? And World of Warcraft gave me a chance to try some of those things out. And I've really enjoyed that ability. 2 is to talk to people. They say that it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And boy, World of Warcraft sure made that obvious. All the way back from the vanilla experience of stumbling into elite quests that you can't handle by yourself and needing to befriend strangers in order to get that sweet quest reward. There's just nothing like the way that World of Warcraft brought people together back in those days when it was an emerging global phenomenon. And what it does today, it still manages to capture some of that. But regardless, the spirit of coming together, of developing your relationships in order to be more successful in your life and WoW is such a great mirror for how we must develop our relationships in the real world to be successful in our own damned lives. And I'm grateful that World of Warcraft, through the dark years and the light, gave me a chance to act this out and learn about how important my fellow human beings are. And lastly, the last lesson that World of Warcraft is teaching me is the lesson of letting go. And that's what I'm practicing here in this little talk. I'm exploring what I learned from this experience. I'm examining the things that hurt and the things that felt good about it. And acknowledging the fact that as a person, my life goes on. I think that as human beings, we all have an arc to life. And it's good and appropriate for things to end, for people to move on from things, to not be stuck repeating the same patterns and behaviors for decades and decades, as I have done. I'm ready to move on, folks. I'm ready to let go of the World of Warcraft and say goodbye. Thank you, Azeroth. Thank you for everyone I've ever raided with, played with. Thank you to the developers who made this incredible world. And thank you. Just thank you. And goodbye.